Okay, I believe we are live. Let me just have a look at the channel once. Are we live?
Let me have a
I
look.
assume so. Can you just
It
say
takes a bit
something?
of time to show up on YouTube normally compared to when. Yeah, we are live. We are live. Yeah, we are live.
All right. So, hello and welcome everyone to Division 2 of the Indian Racing League. We are racing around Singapore here, and it is obviously this season has been an up and down season, but we've been treated to excitement and drama at every single event, and I expect nothing less from Singapore. So, joining me is Vivix. How are you, Vivix?
Hello, people. What was this good? Yeah, I'm fine. Pretty fine. Looking for some nice racing. I don't think we'll get a lot of racing here, but for some nice clean driving, I should say. As Abdul Samad is already retired, so did he have a qualifying going into this?
I don't think so. I mean, he had a very
Unless this is
good result out last time out with the
unless
podium.
unless he's taking tips from Azun or someone, which
Yeah.
is just don't do it. It's save the 4 extra sets of tires
Yes,
if
certainly.
there are like 6 safety cars. But yeah,
Singapore, it's a track with it's very heavy on tire wear. And what do you expect with strategy? Do you expect somebody to start on the softs?
ooh, I don't know. It all depends on how confident they are and their track position as well. I don't think any of the leaders will risk doing that, especially because you don't know when a safety car will come out. So I ideally want to be on the track for as long as possible to utilize it. But if somebody is like out of order, has a particularly rough qualifying, then I for sure think they could start on softs to get some overtakes done in early, and make their way up the pack to what they believe their position should be. Um, as yeah, I think it's going to be definitely very interesting to see. And there's a lot of very high chance of a safety car, as we all know. That stat that always comes around in the Singapore GP, that there has never been a Singapore GP in real life that didn't have a safety car. So I mean, the IRL ones have always lived up to it as well. So it should
Yeah,
be fun.
we always expect safety cars around here. This is a track notorious for it, and I think the first car to start his lap is going to be GRL Mosquito, who's just going onto
And
the covered grandstand. I don't know what to call it. It doesn't have a name
and
as such,
this
but yeah,
and then this
approaching the
barrier
Singapore.
that everyone hits, that
Yeah,
everyone hit in real life today. If you saw the real life practice session,
didn't
so
really. So, would you like to take us
yeah.
through the lap? GRL Mosquito?
Yeah, let's see. Mosquito coming up to start the lap. Very tricky. You can lose your car there at the end of the lap as well. Now into turn one, very tricky. Needs to just get the car in to the corner nice and tight here. The game really wants to invalidate you here. You will lose your lap time for even the smallest infringement through this turn, heading into the back straight right there. Possibly the longest you'll ever have to go without braking on this track. Now, as he comes into the sector 1 timing line, breaks in deep for turn into 4th gear. Now, very slow compared to that. It's Monaco-esque, this section, really. Very flowy. So you will be looking to get the maximum lap time out of this region right there. And he gets a pretty clean go of it, as we see that now into what was the old Singapore sling. Not quite that as much of a slingshot anymore, but still very tricky to get right. If you mess up even one of the corners, you pretty much stand to lose your entire lap time right there. He tries to maintain a consistent rhythm through here, and now again onto this second straight, which he takes with nice aplomb right there, and you can take a lot of the curve on the outside right there, but he chooses to keep the lap just simple for now. Into the last few corners, you could take that curve on last year's game, the one retried. Can't really on this one. The game will chew you out of it. But here we go back again to what we were speaking about earlier, through that bridge and this barrier that everyone hits in real life. And now coming on to the last corner, it is still possible to lose your car through here as he invalidates on the last
Oh.
turn after he'd gone through all of that. But yeah, just the amount of explanation I had to give. This is a very complicated track.
So that would
It
have,
is.
yeah, likely been a 32, sorry, my bad, 39 5 or something, but
I think it was a 39.8 what he set right there.
Yeah.
as yeah, just as Wicket
Hershey.
Vicky is the first victim, I think,
Oxidized
and I think
37-4.
yeah, that is a brilliant lap from Oxidize right there. Is putting himself in pole contention immediately, as I think Wicket Vicky has just become victim of that last corner, which it
Has he?
is kind of ironic, isn't it, Chips, that in this circuit filled with corners, it's it's not even a corner, it's like a half straight that is like likely to claim many victims.
Yeah, certainly. And it's a challenging corner. It's actually difficult to get through, but we have yellow flags, many yellow flags.
All around.
And
I think that's just for where the DNF happened, and now cars going slowly on their in lap. And of course, in lap and out lap, there's a big difference on this track.
yeah,
So you
and
don't want to get, because if you're a slower car, you can't even let go in the middle sector to certain points. Smith Shah on the
Smith.
new wheel does a
Yeah.
38.0. So he's definitely making the investment pay off. Sid Venkatesh does a 38.8 in P3.
Sid is about 1.5 seconds down, but Smith, it's a decent effort. Obviously, on his new wheel, T300 RS. I think he'll be looking to get the most out of
Yeah.
it.
We are
Possibly a
looking
podium
for
today.
sponsors for the channel. So
Yeah.
Trustmaster,
Yeah.
hit us up. But
Uh,
yeah, I think Oxidize has definitely put down a significant gauntlet, I would say,
yeah.
already. Uh,
Uh, and that is likely to be beaten by Redstone, you think? He has been one of the stars this season.
ooh, I don't know. I don't know why he's
Oh,
been in the pits for so
yeah.
long, as that was
I think he
something
wants
weird I saw in the
clear air.
tunnel right there.
He wants clear air,
Yeah,
and
but the thing with this track is it's such a long in lap, Chips. Even if you invalidate your lap, you're taking close to 4 minutes every time just to do a run. And of course, he'll have the data because they are teammates, and only 8 people have done a lap so far, and we have some race runs in between that as well. So he should. I think he'll be looking to get a clean lap in. He's still very much in the championship fight, so it makes sense for him to take things a little bit cautiously, and I guess he's trying to earn oxidized brownie points right now because no one's looking close to getting that by making him do the Vettel from 2013, not go out till the end of the session now.
that is possible. We could see a repeat of that, but obviously, alright, Redstone's out now on his outlap. He's let some Mercedes by with ease, and yeah, Oxidize has set a good banker at the moment. That should give him a guaranteed top 3 in my opinion, but yeah, we have Rev King. I am unsure if this is his debut race or if he's a returning member. Is this his debut?
If it is his return, then he's changed his username because
Yeah.
I don't recall anyone. Uh, server though,
And
I've seen him in some other servers I have that
so,
I'm in, but
nonetheless, in the Alfa Romeo, he is going through the section where the very famous crash gate happens somewhere around here.
yeah.
And Rev King in P11, he's not set a time yet, as have a lot of drivers. And we have had only
I
two.
think
Yeah.
I think there might be big gaps in this qualifying because some drivers are inherently setting a car up more for the race, and
Does it make
qualifying.
sense? Rev King goes P3.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a brilliant lap weather, and already I think there are going to be calls for him to be moved up to D1. How
Yeah.
much we see
I
that
think
happening? Yeah, but
it is possible. We have Ramen on a lap, and I don't know for whatever reason the game doesn't give me the cinematic camera through
yeah,
the
it doesn't.
sling
Yeah,
section. Yeah.
it's just selectively broken.
Yeah.
For Raman right there.
I'm not sure, but yeah, Redstone starting his lap.
Yeah, Redson is starting his lap.
So, would you like to take us through again?
Yeah. Anyway, let's see now what the difference is. How much confidence Redstone has. He takes that curve. Remember, early on in the session when we saw Mosquito, he did not try and hit that curve at the exit of turn 1 because it can spin you out. He's very, very confident with it. He breaks in now for this turn. Could have taken more of an outside line there. I think he'll be. That this is a safe run for him to try and get a banker through the gates right now. As he breaks down the gears for this turn again, he puts it in 4th gear and doesn't really ride the curve as much as I
Ramen.
thought, as Ramen does go fastest of all by 5,000s. I'm still following Redstone here. He's in 6th gear, goes to 7th. He's trying to really be aggressive on that first curve. tries to take all of that. That curve does try and spit you out a bit, even if you take it correctly. So it is a very tricky section. Now you have to slow down. You hit 6th gear at that bridge, and then you have to slow down all the way to even 2nd. It's very, very tough. As he sets a purple middle sector, I hope that's the game telling the truth, but he makes a bit of a mistake. He hits that curve on the inside line right there. That's going to cost him a bit of lap time, bit of momentum going into this corner right here now, into the last of these small bridges. I'll say, as we see a tire of a car there for some reason. I don't know. You can really engine brake through these last few corners. Don't really have to step it on the pedal as much as you do the other corners on the track. What does he set? And it's 38-0, which I think can be attributed to that mistake on the entry into sector 3. Right there, a lot of it, a huge chunk of it, because a mistake here is worth like half a second, even one tiny error. So yeah, but look at how close it is from P3 to P6 even.
Yeah.
All the way to
And you could see the aggression in how he was driving throughout the lap. I think he may have a bit more in him to give, so I assume he'll be coming in and going out for another lap, as Oxidize, who was our provisional pole sitter at the start of the session, is on his out lap. So does he want to go for 3 runs?
Oxidize, I mean, he seems to have a lot of confidence. He wasn't, I don't think he would have even gone out if Raman hadn't set that lap. Because he did that right at the beginning of the session. So the track evolution is quite important here. Since it is a street circuit, it requires a lot of grip, mechanical grip, that for the car to generate. So the fact he was able to do that lap earlier leads me to believe he's got a few tens in his locker. But of course, doing a valid lap on this track is a different story.
Yeah, certainly. We have a few. Is anyone on a hot laps? Captain Sandhu is on a hot lap. At least it seems like it. I think he has a very little battery, so nonetheless, should we follow Oxidize?
Yeah,
I think we should.
He's coming towards the end of his outlap right now.
It's not showing up outlap on beside his name, so I assume he's gone for a. Is that a glitch?
I think he just came out of the pits because
Yeah,
it tells me
that's a
that his
glitch.
time is like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I
Anyways,
choose
so
really not to believe that.
Oxidize starting his lap and
Yes.
alright, so
Breaks into turn 1. He did the perfect one. He did the compromise between the two into the turn 1 entry. The Mosquito didn't take it. Redstone probably took a bit too much of it. He just lightly kisses that curb. Now breaking in, he complete again another kiss, a glide of that curve through there. So he definitely has sector 1 on point compared to the other guys that we've seen so far, and that is represented in that time through sector 1.
yeah.
Oh, that is mamma mia. And he even hit that curve, the one on the exit of the straight.
Oh.
Very, very well. Look at this car. It just looks like it's flowing so nicely. Just from even from the birds, even from the off-camera view, the cinematic view, you can just see it. It's in a lot of unison. He has
Currently I'm on board with him, but yeah, under the Anderson Bridge, it's common to lose your rear end here, but he keeps it under control. And wow, that's a nice entry into that corner.
The car is.
Yeah.
It seems like the car is just going wherever he commands it in one motion. He doesn't have to make any additional.
Almost 2.5 tenths up, over 2.5 tenths up. He's looking set to displace Raman yet again through this section. I'm not sure what it's called. It's Raffles Avenue, I think it's called. But yeah, no matter.
I think this one is Raffles.
Oh, very close to the barrier there. So maybe his entry was a bit compromised there. He broke a bit too late, but nonetheless, through these final set of corners, the penultimate corner, the Singapore Fly, very famous Ferris wheel, and as he runs up to the line, it's a 36.8. Oh my!
Destruction right there. And I think he's earned himself the Vettel reprieve. He doesn't have to go out again. I think he knows that in his head. He knows that.
Oxidize coming alive under the lights here in Singapore tonight, and his teammate Redstone in P3 is 1.1 seconds behind.
He's kind of making the rest of the grid look bad right now, because these aren't even bad laps. Once again, we must.
Yeah, exactly.
We must point this out. These are actually quite decent laps, but it's just he's on a different planet. A second in qualifying. Let's hope he can keep that up in the race, because that would be some truly inspirational stuff, and that is how you need to send off the Lion of Singapore. This would be a fitting tribute to the man himself.
Certainly. And we have multiple drivers. We have Rev King and Hershey who have boxed, so I assume they are. Do they have enough time to come out again? I think they just do. They'll have to hurry up, but yeah, we have a couple of drivers who have not really set representative times. It's Pradeep, uh, and alright, we have a few retirees, but Pradeep, I believe, is finishing his lap. No, he's just starting his lap. I'm surprised we haven't seen a lap again from Mosquito. Did he make another mistake? Because I don't think it takes that long to get back up and running.
Oh, I think he's just about to finish his lap right now.
Yeah, this is gonna be his first representative lap. It's a bit of a slide, but he goes P10.
P10. And just to point out how fast Oxidize is compared to his P10 time. Oxidize was at the finish line when GRL Mosquito was taking the last corner. That is, if you had to put a representation on track, that is an absolute insane amount of time in qualifying, especially. And you definitely he is turning into the Weltmeister here. But yeah, now Ramen is out on a lap.
Oh, Redstone makes a mistake. He mounted the curb a bit too much. Should he just back off at this point? And
I don't think he can back. He doesn't have enough time to come back to the pits, and
he
I
can
don't
just
think he even has enough
battery.
fuel in his car, and he keeps hitting the barriers right there.
Oh, he's really pushing it here. So I think he's just going pedal to the metal. Guns blazing. Yeah. Spandan has retired meanwhile. So
luckily,
yeah,
he
Ramen
doesn't seem to have suffered any damage. And he didn't even lose that much of time. He lost 18,000.
Oh, he spun.
So I have this commentator's curse. That's what happened. Oh,
Smith has set up purple sector 1, or is that the game or is that real?
No, I think that is definitely a glitch because I did see a 26 in Oxidize's sector time numbers.
Yeah, but Smith nonetheless is. Smith could displace Redstone and get P3.
That is not what Redstone would want. I think Captain Sandhu's lost his lap, so it is just Smith who can do it right now for Redstone. And if you were Ramen right now, would you even? I mean, he has no threat from behind realistically, and he has no threat up ahead. So would you just go like full guns to the gunmetal on this thing right now?
Possibly. Because what's
Smith is 2.5 tenths up on his lap, so that should put him.
There's a slow-moving Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, but there is a slow-moving Alfa Romeo ahead of him. Hopefully, they get out of the way. That's Rev King.
Sid Venkatesh, P3.
Oh,
all right.
One out for the championship right there. And I think Smith Shah will be getting very, very frustrated right now.
Yeah, and through the final corner, is he gonna gain any time? Is he gonna lose any time? Smith goes P4. He could have been P3. I don't know how much time he's lost behind the Alfa Romeo of Rev King, that is. Alright, so Rev King was building up to his lap. He is currently P7. He could also displace Smith, for all you know. And yeah,
I think that will just boil the blood a bit more, wouldn't it? If he did manage to displace. As Ramen is 2 tenths down on his own time through sector 1, so and he's invalidated it as well. So that is done right there.
Rev King, he's done as well.
He's a tenth up on his time. Now sector 2 is the real representative sector here because sector 1 at the end of it is just like 2 straights, separated by like a couple of corners. So we will see what he can do through this.
Rev King on a lap. Do we have anyone else on a lap? I believe Ramen, Sid and Smith are all on their in laps. We may have Yoral, Pradeep, Kalyan and Vintage on their hot laps. Unsure at the moment.
Just checking that Kalyan, no. Vintage and Rev King are the only 2 people on the lap right now. And Rev King's about to hit the second time zone.
Yeah,
he's 3 tenths up. It's gonna be close.
He could get P5, he could get P4.
He could get all the way up to P3.
Yeah, who knows? We never really know. But yeah, Rev King through the crash gate section. He also has some traffic ahead of him. So that's a Ferrari of Vintage, I believe. Must be.
No, I think that's... Yeah, that is Vintage. Vintage himself is on a lap. So
let's see.
He has no reason to back out of it.
Vintage sets a lap time good enough for P10. Rev King sets a lap time good enough for P5. Alright. So decent qualifying, but I think Oxidize will be over the moon.
Yeah, that is just like, just go to his cinematic camera right there. That's all that needs to be said about this qualifying. The fact he's not out on track and everyone else is. That is, he's brought all of his jewelry to the locker right there.
Yes. And with that, it's the end of qualifying. It was a brilliant effort. The McLaren boys have been top of the timing charts at almost every single race this season, and well, Singapore is no different. But Redstone has not had the best of qualifying. Do you think that
Yeah.
he set his car up for the race as compared to quali, while Oxidizer has done the
Ooh.
opposite?
I don't know, but it was just because in the quali laps itself, Oxford did look very clean through it, and Redstone was a bit scruffy. Plus, you know how hard it is to overtake in Singapore, so this could be one of the few tracks for setting your car up for quali, as long as you don't bin it, of course, in the wall. Could actually prove to be more of an
Ah,
insight rather than a negative aspect of it.
who are we
But
waiting
also you have to
for?
consider that I think Abhishek is to retire.
Just to mention, I can see a few droplets of rain. Do you think that's gonna factor into the race?
Uh, I don't know. I don't have a telemetry app like some commentators, so yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
really
but
know. I don't know why the car
all
of
right.
Abhishek went out on track to retire, so yeah, that's very confusing, very weird.
Thanks to
But
the game.
yeah,
But yeah, nonetheless, I'll just run through the order once very quickly. So Oxida is very quickly setting the lap and going P1 pole position with Raman P2 over half a second behind. Then you have Sid Venkatesh in the Haas P3 about 7.5 tenths behind. Smith Shah P4. Rev King, I believe this is his debut in P5. Redstone, Oxida's teammate in P6, 1.1 seconds behind. Captain Sandhu P7, Hershey P8, Spandan P9, Vintage P10 with the solitary lap he did. Gerald Mosquito P11, You Can Beat Me in P12, Ace P13, URL Pradeep P14, Kalyan 15th, Crazy Mouse Monster 16th, Abhi, Wicked Vicky, Abhishek and Abdul Samad did not set a time. And it's a full full grid. So
yeah.
well stacked, and I expect to see some.
Yeah, what will be interesting here is that both Captain Sandhu starting in midfield and Abhishek is starting at the back, and Sid Venkatesh is also in the midfield. These are the top three in the championship right
Sid
now,
is
and
up
so is
ahead.
Hershey. So none of them are in the championship fight. And I think Dob will be a bit disappointed because I think he felt that this was the track where he was going to take some of that advantage that the guys have on him. 51 points back.
Hmm.
We are this race actually marks the point where we're over halfway into the season now, so consistency will start to play more of a factor now than it ever has.
Certainly, and Derp has had a lot of bad luck throughout the season, especially in the earlier races. He got taken out at Australia, he beached his car in Spa, and he's just had a lot of bad luck. So let's see
Yeah,
whether Singapore can change the
yeah,
tides of fortune for him.
yeah. I think those guys will be taking precautions uh, through this mid pack. But of course, there are people there who don't have to take precautions because they're necessarily not in the championship fight right now. So of course, when you're in any sort of a fight for a championship, you do start to look, especially around this point of the season, that you have to score points regardless of whatever, because you need to be there at the end of the season, especially. Um,
Yeah, certainly. We are waiting for somebody.
Players
All right, yeah, players.
in the capital. Yeah.
Uh, I'm not sure. So I would like to see what tire strategies everybody has chosen. So I can see a few cars on the hards. All right, let me just have a look. And okay, Raman sliding his way out of his grid box there. And we have Kalyan Verma on the softs. The majority of the field is on the hard tire, apart from Captain Sandhu, vintage player. You Can Beat Me, URL Pradeep, and Kalyan Verma. So,
Oh, Caesar,
all right.
I wish you hadn't said that in the comments, because oh no, I wish you hadn't said that.
What's happening
I,
in the comments?
uh,
Something spicy?
yeah, it's a whole thing. I just
Oh,
suggest,
oh
I
my.
yeah, no. Let's just ignore that for now,
Let's have a
because
good race.
I don't think uh, either something's gone on or the lines have been crossed, and it wouldn't be F1's having drama in real life right now. We can have drama here as well.
Yes,
Of course, the
certainly.
real question. Uh, lot of hard tire runners, but I'm gonna give a shout out to Kalyan because
Yeah.
he is thinking in a different
Kalyan
way.
is gonna have a lot more to play with at the start, but not much soon after.
Yeah,
Uh,
so he's gonna have to make up positions. I think Kalyan knows that if he gets into a DRS, then he's not gonna get overtaken anyway. So as Redstone spins it in the formation lap,
ouch.
um,
Redstone.
yeah, so he's not gonna get overtaken anyway as long as you're in like a DRS terrain. So I think he's just trying to get himself as far up as possible, and then hope for an early safety car maybe, so you can switch those tires onto hards, maybe.
Possibly. So I think that Singapore, with a high tendency of safety car, I think the medium runners will have the best chance with strategy. While I know the hard runners have kind of given themselves a very difficult task to do, provided if they have some
Maybe
unfortunate
we're
issue on
gonna.
lap one,
Yeah,
such as being in
maybe
the
we're
wall.
gonna see the overextensions in terms of pit stops. Just praying for that safety car.
Let's
Especially
see.
if a safety car does come out for the hard tire runners, then they're going way into this race. I would say even like lap 25 for some of them.
I think it's
If
possible, yeah, because the soft tire is really undesirable because of the high tire wear. And all right, we have Oxidize really backing up the field here. Everybody is Wicked Wiki has joined back just in time. So welcome back, Wicked Wiki. Oxidize is, well, he's taking his time warming up his tires, and we see the grid there forming. This is interesting and exciting to watch. And Oxidize has lined up facing. He's gonna block off Ramen, it seems, because look at the
oh,
angle.
has he gone?
Yeah, look at his
Has he
angle.
gone too
He's
much
really
though?
aggressive. So let's see. Abdul Samad is the last car to line up. So are we gonna have the fire lights on now? We're waiting. Who are we waiting for? I'm
Then we're
not
waiting for the
sure.
game to compute.
Yeah, the game takes its sweet time, but nonetheless, this is exciting. Redstone's been
What do you think about the
disqualified.
start?
Yeah.
What do you think about his positioning? Has he put him because he will have to steer, whereas Raman can just go in a straight line.
But what he's trying to do is he's gonna try to block off Ramen's getaway.
Yeah.
Just
I
yeah.
hope he's done his Singapore history. The last time that
Yeah.
this was tried, it didn't really end well for a lot of people. So let's
Yeah.
just hope he's learned.
Was just gonna mention Sir Vettel's 2017 start, and yeah, nonetheless, we are waiting for the lights, which don't seem to be coming on anytime soon. Who are we waiting for? What is going on? I see
This is
Ramen's car dancing around in his grid box, but all
okay.
uh, I'm not sure
Okay,
what's
that
gone
is
on.
weird. The game has. Oh,
Reset
I've seen this
everyone.
happen with the game a few times where it will just like reset
Yeah, the game's reset
everyone
everyone
back
to their
onto grid,
normal grids
back onto
boxes.
the standard grid slots. So yeah, that is a bit weird.
Yeah, we're waiting for Abhishek.
I don't know.
So, do you think will the game give Oxidize his pointy position back?
I don't know. This game is very weird. It could like even switch the positions of the two cars.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I don't. We can always
One
trust the
thing's for
game to give
certain,
us
if
something
this
new.
lobby is the lobby that we're racing in, then it's gonna be very cold tires, and majority of the grid were on hards. So it's cold
Yes.
tires, and this is the coldest compound. Uh,
That's not gonna help them out. And in this case, Kalyan is gonna be the biggest gainer of all.
yeah,
Because
I would put like a 10 rupees on him going up to P1 by the end of the lap, because
yes,
everyone might just spin out.
and I would put that on Santhu because he's also gonna be on the mediums. What? Are we glitched?
Best game, yes. But
Yes,
yes,
that
that
is.
is the
I think
best.
that's
That is
standard across all Codemasters F1 games.
yes.
But all right, Abhishek has left the session. I think we should have the lights on any time now. Would just like to take this moment to tell everyone to please get their water bottles and some food because we might be here for a while. Never mind. All right, we have people leaving the
Okay,
session.
no, we are gonna restart the lobby because
All
Sid
right.
Venkatesh is the lobby host. Um, yeah.
All right. We should then.
I
Will
would
we?
suggest that people do hurry up though. We are.
All right, we
Oh
have
my
the
God,
race
that was
start
very
here,
scary
but
right there. The lobby just restarted all of a sudden. But I would
all
suggest
right.
everyone to hurry up. We are nearing Crazy Mouse Monster's curfew time, so he will need to be put to bed
Yeah.
very soon.
and he is.
We might not have time for the bedtime story today, guys. Hurry up.
Yeah, and he's having a nice time. Sandhu has retired. Oh no, we have so many retirees. What? Oh my, this is like a recreation of 2017, but in full dry
where,
condition.
car
Abdul Samad
33
P1, what a legend! He has us
Yes.
amazed.
Yes. Where car 33 took out
Yes. Hashtag Zeb5 and hashtag Kimi7.
Yeah, that is just a factual description of events right there.
No need to speculate on that, huh?
Yeah, no need to speculate. Yes.
Multiple cars. Alright, I think we should have people leaving soon enough. We have a lot of cars who are having a nice time. It's a safety car. So what do you
I think you can beat me to actually live up to his prediction in a way now. He did not make it past turn 1. So
kind of. Oh, we have Spandan going directly into the wall at Singapore Sling. So he's taken the fast road out, and Oxidize is the only one left. Is he? Our pole sitter. Is he gonna try to make his car pointy again? I think he is. That was a very aggressive stance by Oxidize there. He's putting down he's making his intents very clear there.
But now Raman has a chance to counter with. I mean, of course, Raman can never go on as aggressive of a stance because Oxidize, when you're putting a car in that stance, you're gonna lose time on the start. It's just that you're gonna be able to close the guy off. If you're starting from a position that's behind, then it doesn't really make much sense to do it because you're not even gonna be able to get the extra bonus of having the few meters head start.
Last drivers left the session, URL Pradeep, and I would like to know who has won this race, although we are going to be seeing another one. I'm not going to shut the stream, I'm going to just join the session again.
Yeah, and no one's going to watch through the skipping of the thing anyway in the future. If they are, then please, like as Malav says to like everyone who actually does have a life, get a life. It's kind of ironic because he'll be the only person watching back then.
Oh no! An error has occurred in the following application.